The tea for the Legacy Collection continues to be spilled. Hey, what's up? It's your boy Dynasty, and again, we're back at it on this Tuesday afternoon with a bunch of new details about the Legacy Collection. Massive shout out to MK Secrets because over the weekend, they managed to snag a 1-hour interview with Dan Amrich from Digital Eclipse, where we get a bunch of new stuff finally revealed for the first time ever, and especially in depth. We're actually getting these questions answered with some substance, which has been really nice. Obviously, over the past 24 hours, 2 days or so, we've been discussing and breaking down a lot of the stuff and citing the MK Secrets hour-long interview. If you still have not listened to it, I'll have it linked down below. Go watch it. It's a good listen because, again, the tea that gets spilt is something I wish that would have been spilt maybe like 2 months ago when this game first got announced. But nonetheless, today, the things we will be discussing are actually this right here. So pretty much they confirmed an all new type of like special versus mode that gets you straight into the action ASAP. From there, we got confirmation that the handheld ports won't have any local multiplayer or any type of online multiplayer capabilities. Now, the second part of that we've known for maybe like 4 weeks. The apologists were using that as ammo to say that I'm crazy for expecting that in a package dubbed the Legacy Collection. Well, how do you feel, apologists, about you not being able to play these Game Boy games outside of just the standard single-player mode? I'm sure you don't care about that at all. Other stuff we will be discussing today, Dan does bring up the fact that they want to add online lobbies in the future. On a more positive note, he does confirm that your stats will be tracked, though I don't think it's going to be too in-depth. He does confirm like wins and losses should be tied to some type of like combat card for your profile with all these games and stuff. So nice to know that some type of stack tracking is confirmed. And lastly, Dan was asked about the idea to have some type of tournament mode so you guys can set up locally, LAN parties, things of that sort, host your own events. And sadly, apparently it's not going to be added. I feel like the response makes it seem like it could potentially be added, just because he actually mentions like somebody in studio at Digital Eclipse was like known for doing things of that sort and could probably implement that in like the future. So it's not going to be there, which is what it is, but I guess we'll see what happens. And it's worth noting, too, in the middle of all these, discussions with, like, online capabilities and the multiplayer aspect of it all, he does confirm that they're still currently, right now, testing the online netcode. This game drops in, like, a month, and they're still trying to iron that out. So that's on the agenda today. Again, if you want to not hear your boy yap and you want to see from the horse's mouth, aka my biggest fan's mouth, Dan Amrich, the link to that interview with MK Secrets down below. Go click on it. Before we break this all down, though, I want to give you the direct literal quotes because I don't want anybody to think that I'm spreading misinformation and allegations and rumors. You guys know the drill by now. It takes you a second. If you can, drop a like on it because without you, these MK Legacy videos do not happen. And without further ado, let's kick things off with the very first quote I got for you guys from this interview. This is again from Dan Amrich in regards to pretty much all the multiplayer netcode options we'll be having with the games in the Legacy Collection library. So we open up with this right here. We're planning online play with rollback netcode, so you get a fair, predictable match on all of the arcade games, as well as all of the 16-bit home games. I think 32X is included in that, sort of grandfathered in, but I'm not entirely sure. So I don't want to promise online play for the 32X just yet. I think it's in there. I would have thought that the person responsible for sharing this information would be able to remember these key things. Moving on, though, Trilogy is also going to have online play. All of the original games, as you used to play them, are fully playable. We haven't taken out or disabled anything. You can hit play, connect a second controller, and play just like you always did. 32X fans, I'm sorry that he could not confirm because just couldn't remember at that point in time. He was probably too concerned about my tweets, which is why he blocked me last night. On to the second excerpt of the day. We got the handheld confirmation that it's going to be just simply single player. Here's the quote. Now, the handheld games are single-player experiences. First of all, there are some emulation issues when it comes to replicating link cable functionality. It can be done, but it's tricky. Plus, most of those games are designed to be played solo. One person holding the system and playing. It felt authentic to keep it that way. Sure, the Game Boy Advance games had link cables and multiplayer modes, but in that case, everyone needed their own system. With our emulator, there's only one instance running, which means single player only. And I believe in the interview that Maximilian had at EVO, Stephen Frost kind of elaborates more on that. That's when we actually got confirmation that they wouldn't have online capabilities. So again, really wasn't too shocked with the whole online aspect being removed, but the couch local multiplayer, that was something I thought should have been a shoehorn in. But again, apparently it would have just been too much. We're still talking about potential workarounds for that. Not at launch, though. Online play for those handheld titles is unlikely, but we've at least considered it as a possibility down the line. As for the other games, all the original versus modes are there, like hitting start to join someone's single-player game. Everything's set to free play, and with the online rollback netcode, versus mode plays more like a modern fighting game. Choose your character, pick a stage, and go. Now, next up, we actually have the discussion about the online rooms, online lobbies, something that used to exist back, I believe, in the 2011 arcade collection, existed back on Mortal Kombat Deception on the PS2. Was in most Mortal Kombat games until recently, I'll tell you that much. So right here, we get this quote. We're testing online now, including performance across different distances. This should be up and running at launch, and of course, we'll keep refining it over time. If we find bugs or hear about issues from the community, we'll investigate and improve things. We'll definitely have quick match available at launch. We're also working on a lobby system that might arrive a bit later, where you and your friends can be in the same room, maybe chatting over Discord, and do some sort of winner stays, loser plays rotation. Someone could be in a queue saying, "I've got next." That's something we'd love to deliver. So I think this also confirms that microphones won't be a thing when doing quick match, because he mentions like Discord. And also, does this mean that we don't have the ability to do private matches? Can we get some confirmation that I can make a private match, set up a lobby, and invite my friend? Or does that just fall on the same no lobbies at all? Because if we just have quick match, how am I supposed to play with my homies? Do we just press the button at the same time? Do we just go to like the Antarctica region on the server browser? Like, I just have more questions after these questions got answered. And if I even bring these questions up, apparently it's me being super ungrateful. So yeah, there you go. Do with that information as you will. Now, next up is our excerpt in regards to this special versus mode. And it's kind of funny because we get a Mortal Kombat 1 reference, which spooked the hell out of me. When MK1 is the standard, we're fucked. So this is the quote right here. In our emulation, we've added a special versus mode that feels more in line with what you'd expect from something like Mortal Kombat 1. You can go straight to a character select screen, choose your level, and jump right into a match. In the OG games, the two-player modes were very much based on the arcade model. Somebody would drop in a quarter to challenge you, so there was like that extra menu. Press start to continue, and player 2 has entered the tournament. Our modern versus mode strips that out. It's available for all the arcade games and all of the home games. So just like the Fatality Trainer, I'd assume you just straight up hit like versus mode. You pick everything real quick, you toggle the options, and it just throws you straight into it, which is awesome, you know? No bullshit. You want to just play, you can play as much as you want on repeat, individual matches. I think that's a big thumbs up, but just don't reference Mortal Kombat 1. Reference MK11 before you reference Mortal Kombat 1. Now, the final topic of the day, like I mentioned, he was asked, do you plan to address the tournament scene in a more direct way? And this is kind of all over the place, so I'm just going to read it because there's a lot of stuff being discussed here. It's 2 different excerpts. So here's the first set of, quotes. Honestly, no. And I know that's probably not the answer people want to hear, but early on in this project, we had to decide what features we could really commit to. We had a limited amount of time, resources, and people, and we had to prioritize. Our whole focus has really been about letting people play these games and hopefully have nostalgic happiness for. We know there's a competitive scene, and we do want that community to be happy, but when we started talking to people, what stood out were the stories like, oh man, my cousin and I played the Super Nintendo version all summer long. Reconnecting that emotional bond online, that became more important than things like ranked matchmaking or built-in tournament structures. What I'm hoping is that the competitive and tournament community being used to creating their own structures around games can still engage with this. And if we're able to add things later that make their lives easier, we'd love to. I want to see what they think when they get their hands on it, but no, we're not automatically building in those tools, at least not at launch. Now, ranked matchmaking would have been really cool. It would have been cool if you wanted to go up against the sweatiest of the sweatiest in a whole list and array of these classic arcade games. But again, it just seems like quick match is the only option. I can't fault them for just simply zeroing in on the casual element and aspect, because by no means have I ever taken this shit too serious. That's kind of like the whole basis of my channel. I'm just a fan of Mortal Kombat, so I get that. Most of us are casual fans of Mortal Kombat. We're not trying to win EVO. That's 100% respectable. I get that, but I still think there's a place for ranked matchmaking. You know what I mean? And again, where's my confirmation that I could have private 1v1s with somebody by simply sending them a game invite? The lack of that being mentioned is kind of spooking me. Again, you guys are to call me crazy for wanting to hear that, but I mean, can you blame me? Can you really blame me? Now, the final excerpt in regards to the competitive aspect of all these games in the Legacy Collection, again, from Dan the Man right here, says, and it's funny because our producer, Steven Johnson, has run tournaments and has been part of the competitive scene forever. It's one of the reasons he got this job. He knows that world. He was able to advise us on what the competitive community expects, but ultimately, when it came down to where we put our resources, we chose to focus on delivering that nostalgic, fun experience over building full competitive infrastructure. That said, we will have some basic features like online win-loss records and simple player stats. Think of it kind of like a player card, but are we going to have people register online, use codes, build tournaments through a website, all of that? No, that's beyond what we feel we can execute properly right now. We don't want to offer something half-baked and have the competitive community say, what is this garbage? Oh, that's so ironic. I'm sorry, but this has just been fun. I'm loving these quotes. We're open, though. We want to make as many people as happy as we can. Once the game is out, we'll see where the conversation goes. If the competitive community finds what we've built useful, great. And if not, then we'll look into what we can do to enhance it and make it more usable for them down the line. It's on the table. So I guess this kind of also coincides with them not trying to get crossplay at launch because, again, crossplay is probably just for the pro players. Oh, man. So there you go. There's a nice overview on a bunch of things that we've yet to discuss from this 1 hour long interview that MK Secrets managed to get at Gamescom over the weekend with Dan Amrick, my biggest fan, Dan the Fan. So, you know, it is what it is. A lot of these features I really wasn't expecting. I just kind of wanted a modern standard, like online rooms and lobbies and crossplay. That's really all I wanted. You know what I mean? I understand the fact that, again, let's say, hypothetically, they were given a year, right? You have a year and a half to deliver all this. Where do we put all our efforts? I can understand why they had to cut some of this out. I get it, right? But, shouldn't this just kind of say more about the publisher? Like, maybe WB should have let them cook instead of attacking people for just simply calling out like, well, that's unfortunate that we don't have crossplay in online lobbies in a online fighting game in 2025 when Fightcade has that for free. I planned on buying this game like 5 different times to get those damn slipcovers, and again, when you're dropping like 400 bucks, I think I have the right to come out and be like, huh, I wish that was in this game that I'm buying like 4 or 5 fucking times. The gaslighting is at an all-time high. So there you go. That's what's been going on lately in regards to the overhauled special versus mode. Those are all the games that should have online capabilities. There's your update in regards to just how competitive and in-depth the lack of a ranking system is going to be. At least you get your wins and losses tracked. I'm hoping we get some customization options for this player card, maybe. Hopefully. Maybe after lunch. But guys, that's all I got for y'all today. I'm going to cut it here. If you guys want to listen to the full interview yourself, I'll have it linked down below. Again, strongly suggest checking it out. I probably got like one more of these in the tank to cover the last few pieces of information, but I think we've pretty much deep dived into everything of note, and I think I've given my thoughts on just about everything. It just sucks because, again, a lot of this stuff I wish would have came out like 2 months ago. You know what I mean? Because then the expectations would have been just so much more grounded in reality, and maybe the devs wouldn't feel like we're horrible people. We're just wanting transparency. Anyways, what do y'all think of this? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed, drop a like on it. Subscribe for some more MK content like this on the channel. I love you guys. Thank you for everything. And I'm having a lot of fun today. Gears of War came out today. Yeah! I love you guys. Peace.